Hey man, my name is AJ, and I see you found my modern art piece. For the past few years, I have been stuck inside of this room, trying to find the best Nintendo franchise, and my efforts have come to nothing. There's a lot of amazing Nintendo games, but I don't think I would really call one of the series the best. Oh my god! Ah, holy shit, Pikmin 4's out! Hold on, I gotta call somebody.
Hello? Is anybody in there?
Mitchell, Pikmin 4's out!
I know. Yeah, it's been out for like 2 months. Are you stupid?
Fuck! Pikmin is the best Nintendo franchise. I'm not kidding. I'll prove it to you on this commercial.
Why you should... What? Buy Pikmin. We got big guys and little guys. You can throw them by.
Aren't you just convinced? For those that don't know, Pikmin is a Nintendo franchise that started back in 2001 and has had 4 mainline games with a few spin-offs. Pikmin is basically a series where you crash land on an alien planet, which is basically Earth, but not really. 250 million years after humans went extinct, and you find these weird little guys called Pikmin. You can use them to pick up items and fight enemies, and in turn, you have to make sure they don't die or else they'll go extinct. You can kill enemies and find pellets to bring them back to an onion, which is basically a Pikmin spawner, and you can get more Pikmin, but you can only have 100 out at a time. Throughout the games, you find different Pikmin types with different abilities. Some are good at combat, some don't die in water, some are shock resistant, some can fly, etc. And you have to fight bosses and stuff, and do puzzles, and make it back to your ship before sunset, but you gotta make sure you gather all your Pikmin or else they'll be killed at night. That made no sense, did it? Listen, Pikmin is a series you kind of just have to play to understand. If you try to explain it to someone who has no idea what you're talking about, you sound like a fucking insane man that needs to be locked away. But when you do play it, it all makes more sense. And yes, this is just me trying to get you to play Pikmin. Do it, asshole! But let's go back in time, back to 2000, when a sequel to Mario 64 was in production, called Super Mario 128 at the time. A prototype for Mario 128 was shown off at Nintendo Space World 2000, mainly to show off the performance of the prototype GameCube hardware. This isn't actually the first version of Mario 128, though, as in 1997, it was in production for the 64DD, but was cancelled. In the 2000 demo, you play as a giant Mario that spawned a bunch of smaller Marios, independently walking in a circular board until the number of characters on the screen reached 128. This demo was actually incorporated into numerous other Nintendo games, like the physics in Metroid Prime and the sphere walking in Mario Galaxy. But the most notable one is Pikmin and its rapid object generation, which is a huge factor in Pikmin's gameplay. Around the time of development of this sequel, Miyamoto instructed the creator of Mario and Zelda.
That was wrong. Disregard what I said. I read something wrong because I'm stupid and then wrote it down. Miyamoto is the creator of Mario and Zelda. I don't know how I forgot that!
To begin working on a new game that was, quote-unquote, nothing like Mario. The developers created a prototype called Adam and Eve. Wait, sex is canon in the Nintendo universe? No! But that prototype was built off of the infrastructure of Mario 128, and it was originally supposed to be more of a civilization building game. But this build of the game left the devs unsatisfied, so they changed it up. At the time, Miyamoto was interested in gardening, so he suggested giving the characters a plant-based spin, whatever the hell that means. The developers saw the many Marios carrying blocks in the Mario 128 demo, and were like, what if we made that the entire game? And then they did. They actually struggled with finding a direction for a while, as shown with the Adam and Eve prototype, but they eventually found it, with little plant freaks carrying shit around. Also, fun fact, Bulbors were actually made before Pikmin, and were made for the Adam and Eve demo, I think. So while they scrapped the original idea, some concepts and enemies, like Bulbors, were carried over. Development continued on the game, and during E3 2001, a beta trailer of the game was shown off. The game looks fairly similar to the final GameCube version of the game, with some differences with the areas, animations, and a few other little things. But the game overall resembles the final product we got later that year. Pikmin 1 was eventually released on October 26, 2001 in Japan, with a later release in North America and the PAL region. It was met with positive praise from gamers and critics alike, who praised it for its uniqueness and charm. Didn't have the best sales ever, only selling around 1.6 million copies to this day, prior to the new Play Control versions and the Nintendo Switch remasters, but I'm gonna assume Nintendo liked it, because they said they were always working on Pikmin. And I only got around to playing through the whole game this year, and holy shit, man, is this game good. I think it's actually criminal that this game never got nominated for Game of the Year. This game is challenging, but fun, and while story was never the strong suit in the Pikmin games, the world was interesting and fun to explore. But why do I like this game so much? To put it simply, the gameplay. I'm not really a huge RTS fan.
Yeah, that's right. I don't like Age of Empires or Homeworld.
Uh-oh. But Pikmin is a different story. This is what I think of when I hear real-time strategy. You have your little guys to command, and you command them, and you think on the fly. It's more fast-paced compared to other RTS games I've played, and I love that. You don't just watch things unfold before you, you're actually part of the world, not just some external force controlling people. You're going so your Pikmin dying can actually have an impact on you, meaning that you have to get in the fight to make sure your Pikmin don't all die, creating for more fast-paced gameplay. And speaking of real time, there's a day and night, meaning that you have to make sure you don't take too long to figure out how to get one of your ship parts or else you run out of time. And time is especially important in Pikmin 1 because you have a strict limit of only 30 days. And in my first playthrough, I barely made it before 30 days. In Pikmin 1, you crash land on an alien planet and meet the Pikmin. But your ship parts are scattered all around 4 different areas. Yes, I know there's 5 areas, but the final area doesn't really have many ship parts, so I'm not counting that. You have 30 days before your life support fails and 30 parts to collect. You may think that's super easy, but it's not as easy as you think. Sometimes you'll spend an entire day just exploring an area and opening up pathways. Maybe you get stuck trying to get a certain part that you waste the day away. These little things add up and make the last few days of the game full of panic and rushing around because you can only go to one area each day, so you have to make it count. You can also spend time figuring out which parts you really need because you don't need every single one, but you also don't know every single part. So you can waste your time finding a ship part that you don't even need. This creates for some tense gameplay, which I think works so much better for this genre. I don't get this feeling from any other RTS or TBS I've ever played. Looking at you, Civilization, being an actual character in the world brought a whole new sense of depth to the game. It may not seem like that much of a big deal, but if I was just some eldritch god that could control thousands of people with the point of a finger, I would not be nearly as interested in the game. Also, Olimar is fucking awesome, so I win. But Pikmin 1 does have its problems, mainly relating to some gameplay and control problems. A big critique of the game was the camera, but I got used to it after a while, so it didn't bother me that much. But Pikmin randomly falling off of bridges did bother me. This is a problem I had throughout the game, where you could be walking on a bridge, or building a bridge, and your Pikmin could just fall off into the water. And red and yellow Pikmin can't swim, so you have to save them so they don't fucking drown. At first this panicked me, by the fucking 5th time it happened, I just got annoyed. Also, sometimes moving the cursor was a bit of a struggle. I've heard this is somewhat better in the Wii version, which is actually a version I played a little bit of when I was younger, but I don't remember anything from it. But I've also heard it's worse in the Wii version. But overall, I had a great time with Pikmin 1, and it also did pretty well on the channel, surprisingly, so I guess other people liked watching it. It's a very good first game, but you don't really have to play Pikmin 1 first. There's some connected stories throughout the series, mainly in Pikmin 1 and 2, but as I said earlier, the story of these games isn't really super important, considering the games are heavily gameplay focused, so you can just start on any of them if you want. I'd recommend starting on Pikmin 1 just because it's the first in the series and you get to see how it evolved. But you don't have to. But maybe don't kill me when I say I don't like RTS games. Dying isn't really my hobby, and something I never knew is that dying kinda hurts. After the release of Pikmin 1, news on a sequel was silent for about a year until December 2002, when Miyamoto confirmed that a sequel was, in fact, in development. This time around, there would be a second captain for local multiplayer and for the main game, and they would be removing the 30-day time limit and instead have the player explore the world at their own leisure. While I do like the timer from Pikmin 1, with some newer gameplay elements in Pikmin 2, I think this change worked for the better. This change was also made because a big critique of Pikmin 1 was that the game was too short. I guess I didn't have that problem. The game was originally supposed to release in autumn 2003, but the game was delayed for 6 months. Like Pikmin 1, Pikmin 2 was shown off at E3 2003. The trailer shows off Louie, new enemies, new areas, new gameplay, etc. Pikmin 2 was eventually released on April 29, 2004, with later releases across the world. The game is a direct sequel to Pikmin 1, and when I say direct sequel, I mean direct sequel. This is one of the only Nintendo games that takes place directly after the previous game. Olimar returns to Hocotate, and Hocotate Freight isn't dead. So he and Louie go back to PNF 404, which is the planet of Pikmin. The game was, once again, met with positive reviews with 8s and 9s out of 10 across the board. It was also ranked the 47th best game made on a Nintendo system in the February 2006 issue of Nintendo Power. Fans also enjoyed the game, and fans and critics alike praised it for addressing many problems seen in the first Pikmin. This game was, overall, seen as the superior Pikmin game.
Do I agree? Well, that's tough to say. Before I get into my review, I should say that I do really enjoy this game, and I've only ever played it in a co-op mod with my friend. But my opinion can fluctuate on this game. Sometimes I think it's the best Pikmin game, other times I fucking hate it.
Let's talk about the big new additions first, and first up is the most important one, the caves. They're one of the big new additions to Pikmin 2, being spread out across the areas and being randomly generated every time, but following a specific layout. This is where you spend a majority of your time in Pikmin 2. Pikmin 2 also introduced a second captain, Louie. He played the same as Olimar, and you could switch between controlling Olimar and Louie to maximize efficiency. And Louie is the second playable character in multiplayer. Pikmin 2 also adds purple Pikmin, which are strong and slow, and white Pikmin, which are resistant to poison. There's also another Pikmin type that isn't shown on the cover of the game, and it's Bulbmin. They're a parasitic type of Pikmin that can infect Bulborbs, and you can only find them in caves, and you could only use them in caves. And also, on the map, they're green, so that means GREEN PIKMIN REAL! Now on to my review. This is definitely the most difficult Pikmin game in the series, which is great and also awful. I don't know if the multiplayer mod just made caves hell, but caves are fucking hell. I love the caves, and I think they're a great addition to the game, but sometimes they can be kind of unfair. Also, I wish each cave had a theme to it. Some of them do, but a lot of caves are really samey. And oh my fucking god, who decided the length of these fucking things? Caves in Pikmin 2 feel really long, and that gets progressively worse as you continue with more and more sub-levels. But the difficulty is really one of my only problems with this game. It's a little clunky here and there, but sometimes the unfairness of the game is really my only gripe. Unfortunately, it is a pretty big gripe. Baloo is fucking awesome, so it makes up for it a little bit.
But I don't exactly feel qualified to review this game in more depth, because I haven't finished it. But you know who has?
This guy!
Mitchell will take over for the rest of this Pikmin 2 section and actually give it a proper review.
Pikmin 2 is like the 7th best game of all time. Olimar returns to Hocotate to find that the company that he works for is 10,100 Pokos in debt. His awesome ship, the SS Dolphin, is near immediately sold off to repay some of the debt. Blah blah blah, Olimar's shocked, drops the souvenir, and wowee, it's worth 100 Pokos. That's over a year's salary. Olimar is sent back to the Pikmin planet with his probably new coworker Louie to collect more treasures. Also, the music that plays in the intro cutscene is awesome, and especially when Olimar dodges the asteroid, that part is awesome, right? All of the areas in Pikmin 2 take place in modified versions of the areas from the first game, except for the Valley of Repose, kinda, probably most likely. The unfortunately titled Awakening Wood is the Forest of Hope, the Perplexing Pool is the Distant Spring, and the Wistful Wild is the Impact Site and the Final Trial fused together. The Forest Navel from Pikmin 1 took place underground, and if you wanted to make each area from Pikmin 1, you could say that the Forest Navel is actually just under the manhole cover in the Valley of Repose. That makes sense enough, I think. Caves are somewhat randomly generated areas new to Pikmin 2. You can find 3 to 4 caves in each level. The caves are a fine idea, but I don't really like how some of them drag... But I don't really like how long some of them drag on for. A lot of the caves are just a few halls with enemies scattered around, and the only ones I really enjoyed were the ones with gimmicks to them. There was this one cave I played a while ago, where it was like this maze sort of thing, but not really, and with a bunch of bombs falling from the ceiling. It was a bit annoying, but it was different, and I liked it. And you've probably heard about the submerged castle like a bajillion times. After a few minutes, this weird guy falls from somewhere, and he tries to crush you and all your Pikmin. I saw a few people complain that they made the water wraith way too easy in Pikmin 4, and that it was way harder in Pikmin 2. But I don't think I lost any Pikmin to this guy the first time I played this cave, when I lost a ton in Pikmin 4. At the end of the cave, you beat the water wraith to death with the purple Pikmin, and get the Pluckaphone, which sounds super useful, letting you pluck Pikmin into the ground just by whistling, but I never ended up using it too much, because I always had around 100 Pikmin out in the field. I guess I should talk about the new Pikmin types now, because I mentioned one of them. Ooh yeah! All the new Pikmin types can be found underground. 2 of them, the purple and the violet. Are you stupid? Piclopedia. It's got a bunch of entries from Olimar and Louie about all the weird little freaks that you find. Olimar gives scientific descriptions, and Louie gives... Sorry, I wasn't trying to be funny, that's just how it's written in the script. And Louis talks about how to cook and eat the weird little freaks. There's also the treasure hoard, where you can read Olimar's journal entries about all of the treasures, and a sales pitch written by the ship. It's alive, sorta. The pluckaphone I mentioned earlier is obtained by getting the professional noisemaker, which has an awesome entry. Noisier than a spaceship, this wonderful item will make your miserable life 120% more interesting. Oh yeah, I didn't write this in the script, but all the treasures have like funny little names. About the treasures, that's like a big part of the game. You gotta collect a bunch of random stuff and sell it to pay off Hocotate Freight's debt. Some treasures are cooler and upgrade or unlock some things. The globe halves give you more areas to explore, the toddler shoe basically just makes your Pikmin slower, and the glove lets you sleep. I always thought the glove was useless and just a weird joke, but if you need a captain to get back to the onion while doing something with the other one, you can use this. Cool. Quite a few of the treasures have brands from our world on them. These are neat to see, but unfortunately were removed when the Switch ported the game. Oh man. It sucks real bad, kinda. I almost didn't get Pikmin 2 on the Switch, because, not just because I already have it on the Wii and the GameCube, but because, I don't know, I like the branded treasures, even though I think there's only like 22 or something. It's just lame to get rid of them, because like the first 2 treasures that you find are, they've got little brands on them. There's like a 7-Up bottle cap and a Duracell battery. And the Duracell battery is like the big one, so to see that just say like super battery is kinda lame. Anyways, after collecting enough treasure and clearing the debt, Olimar returns home. Except he forgot Louis, or I don't know, Louis probably just got off of the ship or didn't even get on. The president returns to the planet with Olimar, and now they've gotta go get Louis. There's also a cool new area to explore. The president's whistle makes the sound of a car horn, by the way. It's awesome. Really, my only issues with this game are that some of the caves drag on for far too long, and that I feel like it loses the time management from the other Pikmin games. I don't really know why, but each area in this game kinda just feels like different hub worlds for the caves, rather than fully fleshed out areas to me. There's also no time limit, like the 30 days from Pikmin 1, and time freezes in caves, so you can kinda just do whatever you want without worrying. Pikmin 4 doesn't have a time limit either, but time doesn't freeze in caves, it only slows down. And they keep telling you to hurry up, so I personally still felt like I had to get things done quickly in that game. The various emails you receive from the president hint that you only have so much time before the loan sharks get them, so I think Pikmin 2 should have had a time limit of around 30 days like the first game, and if you take too long, Hocotate Freight goes bankrupt. About the various emails, these replace the logs written by Olimar at the end of each day from Pikmin 1. I think the emails are neat, you get to see some more of the characters and get a bit of info about them. Like Olimar's wife being deranged, a few new character. Hey, Ragenade. Cut that part out, I don't feel like it. About the various emails, these replace... Whoa.
Okay, back to Ragenade stuff.
In a 2004 IGN interview with some people behind Pikmin and other people from Nintendo, they were asked if they ever had plans for a Pikmin 3. They said they couldn't confirm anything at the moment, but they would like to expand upon the Pikmin universe and concepts. And then it took 9 years for Pikmin 3 to come out. Pikmin 3 went through a few different iterations before release. Originally, before development started, Nintendo tried to make Pikmin games on the Game Boy Advance and 3DS, but it was deemed too weak on these consoles, so they said no to Pikmin games on handhelds. They definitely said no. On November 19th, 2006, Nintendo released the Wii, which was an integral part of my childhood. I played this thing endlessly, playing games like Mario Kart Wii, Mario Galaxy, random fishing games, Wii Sports, Lego games, Star Wars games, and so much more. This thing absolutely ruled and was basically a gift from the heavens. And this only came out about 8 days after the PS3 and only about a year after the Xbox 360. Those are huge parts of my childhood. And obviously there was console wars between, mainly the Xbox 360 and the PS3. The Wii kind of did its own thing.
Hey, Ragenade! What's better?
What?
Xbox 360 or PS3?
Okay, fucking Jesus Christ. Yeah, I get it. Words. Gee, I know words, okay? Words have been in my family for generations. Name a word. Any word. Yeah, that's right. You're too scared. These word bandits everywhere, man. Fine. Damn, what do I prefer? I don't know. Let me think. Xbox 360 or PS3? I mean, they both have stupid games. and weird and obscure games that people have forgotten. And I love that shit. I love stupid games. Let's name a few. Connect Adventures, You Start 2, Burnout, Crash and Dance Central 2, Connect Sports and Connect Party. To catch all these, we're Connect already. Hell yeah! Wrath of the Dead Rabbit, whatever Puppeteer was, it exists. Lollipop Chainsaw, Robot Sour, and actually a pretty cool game called Flower. You can choose either one, it doesn't really matter. You're yelling into deaf ears when arguing, my brain shatters. Your favorite billionaires and companies will slap you on the back. The people play what they play, shut the fuck up, just play some crap.
That didn't answer my question.
Yes, it did! It doesn't matter. It doesn't make you a better or worse person for playing on a different console. Just let people play what they want to play, damn it!
Answer the question.
No!
Answer.
Fine. Jesus Christ, I'll answer you so you don't cry. Not like it matters or it's worth my time. Well, Nintendo. This is the second time I died today. Being dead kind of sucks. It's like you don't have life. I know, right? Crazy. Call me to answer all of life's greatest questions. Death has been in my family for centuries. It's nothing new, but it's really bad. Like, all of my family is a victim of death. And it's like, death can't leave us alone. At least I got Pikmin. Oh, shit!
Death can't stop me. I can't read. Yes, those two things have a correlation, I swear. As I said, the Wii basically shaped my childhood. It's one of the first consoles I ever played on, and it solidified my love for gaming. That and fucking Roblox and Minecraft. I was an awesome child, I swear. And before you say it, yes, I had a DS. Here it is. But I got this after I had already found my love for video games. The DS is also a huge part of my childhood because this is the first console I ever owned personally, because the Wii was for my family and the freaking computer I played Minecraft on was a family Mac, and I played Roblox on my mom's iPad. So this was mine. I actually had something to call my own with this. But in the huge mix of memories from the Wii is Pikmin. As I said earlier, I played a bit of Pikmin on the Wii, but I don't remember much from it. I only remember now after I found an old drawing of Pikmin that I did when I was really young. The drawing doesn't exist anymore because I got rid of it when digging through old stuff and for some reason never thought to take a picture of it. But now I remember playing Pikmin a bit, and I was the only person in my family who had played Pikmin, and still true to this day. The Wiimote is like one of the best controllers in all of gaming. You didn't even have to try to throw this thing at the TV. And Nintendo thought that it would be cool to enhance some old GameCube first-party games for the Wii with Wiimote controls. And two of those games were Pikmin 1 and Pikmin 2. Introducing New Play Control Pikmin. These are the original Pikmin games I played and have somewhat fond memories, but also misery. I think the Wii versions of these games is a great way to play them 75% of the time. The other 25% of the time is terror and hatred. New Play Control Pikmin 1 was released on Christmas 2008 in Japan, and later in 2009 across the world. And New Play Control Pikmin 2 was released on March 12th, 2009, and later that year across the world. Except for in North America, where it was released in fucking 2012 for some reason. Why? This didn't make sense, because the Wii U released in 2012, and this was made for the fucking Wii! I know the Wii U is compatible with Wii games, but this is stupid! It was made for the Wii, not the Wii U, so why the hell did it release in 2012? Anyway, in 2007, in an interview with IGN, Miyamoto hinted towards a new Pikmin game, saying that they wanted to do more, and that the Wii could work with Pikmin. And in an interview from CNET in April 2008, they said that Miyamoto had a desire to continue the Pikmin series. But it wasn't until E3 2008 when Pikmin 3 was finally confirmed for the Wii. There weren't any details surrounding the development or any of the features of the game. All that was mentioned was that Miyamoto was working on the next installment of the series. Throughout this video, you might have seen me share concept art of Pikmin, which are all interesting, but maybe the most interesting of them all is this one, where you can see the three captains of Pikmin 3. Alf, Brittany, and Charlie, promptly named A, B, and C, but there's a fourth captain, named D, that never shows up in Pikmin 3. At E3 2011, it was confirmed that the game was now being developed for the Wii U. Miyamoto said this was because the HD graphics on the Wii U and the secondary screen would work better. This makes me kind of wonder how Pikmin 3 on the original Wii would have been. Would it have been better or worse? I don't fucking know, I didn't play it, don't ask me. At E3 2012, we finally got our first taste of Pikmin 3's gameplay, after about 4+ years in development. The basic gameplay of the game was shown, so was the HD graphics, the gamepad interface, and one of the two new Pikmin types in this game, Rock Pikmin.
They're immune to being crushed by enemies, and they also have a heart outside. Like a rock. Pikmin 3 was originally supposed to be a launch title for the Wii U, but had to be pushed back until 2013. The Wii U launched on November 18th, 2012, and is the lowest selling Nintendo console to date. I don't hate the Wii U, but I also don't love it, and I'm glad Pikmin 3 got eventually put on Switch via the Deluxe Edition in 2020. Pikmin 3 was shown off for the final time at E3 2013 before launch. Miyamoto gave a presentation for the game, and then it was time to wait until midsummer, when Pikmin 3 launched on July 13th, 2013 in Japan, and later that same month and in August for Europe, Australia, and North America. The game, once again, got 8s and 9s all across the board from critics, and fans also praised it. I think a 9 out of 10 is about what I'd rank this game, maybe a bit higher to like a 9.3 or a 9.4. I love this game, and it was my reintroduction to the Pikmin franchise as I had played this game for the first time in 2021, and really liked it, even though I didn't get far. And then this year, I played the game on stream and beat it and had a great time. The game looks great, with some pretty good graphics paired with great art design, and the gameplay is amazing, only beat out by Pikmin 4. The UI is really clean, and probably the best looking UI in the series. The time limit kinda comes back in the form of food. It's a much less strict time limit, as it can be increased by finding more food, but if you run out of food, then you fail. I've seen a complaint that this game is too short, but I didn't really have that same problem. Maybe I just suck, but I spent over 10 hours in Pikmin 3, and I think that's a fine length, because I don't think super long Pikmin games would be good. I don't think these games are supposed to be super long, and I'm fine with that. I do have some issues, though, and my main problem is just the difficulty. Unlike Pikmin 2, this game is a little too easy. This game feels like much more of a breeze to get through than Pikmin 2 and Pikmin 1. I think Pikmin 1 did difficulty right, and the rest of the games in the series should follow how Pikmin 1 did difficulty. But it's not a super huge complaint, I just kinda wish it was more of a challenge. My other complaints are just kind of nitpicky, so I won't go over them, but overall this game is fantastic. And if you prefer Pikmin 1 over Pikmin 2, then definitely check out this game, as it's more akin to Pikmin 1, removing the caves and having something that's kind of like the time limit. There was also a few DLC packs for Pikmin 3. I don't think I've finished all of them, so I won't give my opinion. Pikmin 3 went on to be the best-selling Pikmin game at the time, selling 115,000 units in its first month. It was the best-selling game in its week of launch in Japan and North America, and it debuted second in the UK charts. This game actually went on to sell over 20,000 Wii U's, and it's the 16th best-selling Wii U game of all time. To put that into perspective, this is the console with games like Mario Kart 8 and Splatoon, so seeing Pikmin 3 so high up there is actually really damn cool. It's actually ahead of games like Twilight Princess HD and Hyrule Warriors. It went on to sell 1.28 million copies on the Wii U, so congrats Pikmin.
But before the release of Pikmin 3, we were actually supposed to get a few animated Pikmin shorts on the DS eShop. And then they evaporated.
They were eventually released on November 5th, 2014 on the eShop. For around 2 years, news on a Pikmin 4 was never confirmed, until September 7th, 2015, when Miyamoto told Eurogamer that a new Pikmin game was in development and it was very close to completion. In the same interview, he confirmed that the Pikmin team is always working on the next installment. Maybe we won't get Pikmin 5 when I'm 90. Now, I've seen some people say that maybe Miyamoto was talking about Hey Pikmin instead of Pikmin 4, but in the Eurogamer article, they literally say that Nintendo themselves confirmed the news of Pikmin 4 existing, saying that they can't say much else other than Pikmin 4 is in development, and I don't think Hey Pikmin was developed to be Pikmin 4.
At least I hope not.
An interesting point in this interview was that Miyamoto never confirmed what console the game would be on, and at the time, the Switch, or what it was known as at the time, the NX, was still a mystery, with more info coming the next year.
This kind of makes me think that maybe Pikmin 4 was originally developed to be a launch title for the Switch, but then maybe plans fell through and that just couldn't happen or something. Or maybe they completely restarted on Pikmin 4, or the Pikmin team's office is burned down or something. I don't know, don't ask me!
But regardless of what I originally thought, and a lot of people originally thought, this wasn't actually the last time Pikmin 4 was mentioned until 2022. During an E3 interview in 2016, Miyamoto confirmed that Pikmin 4 was still in development, but it wasn't their main priority. And then about a year later, Miyamoto talked to Eurogamer again and confirmed that Pikmin 4 was still in development and progressing, whatever the hell that means. And we didn't hear about the game for 5 years.
So instead of getting into Pikmin 4, let's talk about the game after Pikmin 3. God damn it, fuck it, let's talk about Hey Pikmin.
After the release of the Pikmin shorts in 2014, Miyamoto held a Q&A where he said, "Hey, we're making more shit, stay tuned." In January 2015, he basically said the same thing, saying that he wanted to continue the series and he had lots of ideas for it. We got our first look at the game in the September Nintendo Direct for 2016. The title at the time was Pikmin for Nintendo 3DS. Cool name, Nintendo.
Guys, I'm making a sequel to my album, The Abysmal Plane. I'm calling it The Abysmal Plane in 2024.
More info for the game was shown off in April 2017 via another Nintendo Direct, where it got the name Hey Pikmin, and it got a release date of July 28th, 2017 for the 3DS. They really like July 28th. Also, why? The Nintendo Switch released in March, and this Direct happened in April, and the game released in July for an older console. I'm pretty sure the DS still got games until like 2019, but the release for this game just seemed destined to fail. Which it did! It's the lowest selling Pikmin game in the series, somehow selling less than the Wii ports. Probably because the Switch was still huge at the time. It was really poor planning on their part. They should have waited to release the game when some of the Switch hype died down. Also, maybe it didn't sell well just because it's not that great.
No, I'll be real. While I do think this is the worst Pikmin game, it's not that bad, and at least it's not a mainline game. But it's just not a good Pikmin game because it removes what makes Pikmin Pikmin, the RTS gameplay.
The mainline Pikmin games were praised so much for their gameplay, which was unique and a breath of fresh air. It wasn't really anything people had seen before, even in the RTS genre. Hey Pikmin says, "Hey Pikmin, fuck you! Let's make it Mario." Hey Pikmin is a puzzle platformer with really simple puzzles and an overall lack of depth. The amiibo shit was cool though.
This game received pretty mixed reviews, and I have to agree. I'd probably rate this game like a 6. It's just meh. Fine game, I guess, but just a bad Pikmin game. Though I'd rather play whatever's left in the bargain bin at GameStop. I regret that statement.
And then after this, there was nothing.
The Pikmin series had gone silent after the release of Hey Pikmin, and mind you, at this point there was no Pikmin games on the Switch. Well, kinda. It wasn't a Pikmin game, but it was Pikmin acknowledgement.
We all know Smash Ultimate, everyone's there, including Olimar. That's right, Olimar and the Pikmin are in the Smash series, and even Alpha's there. Olimar wasn't actually introduced in Smash Ultimate, and he actually goes back to 2008 with Brawl. And there was some stages based off of Pikmin and Brawl and Smash Wii U, and those stages returned with Olimar in Smash Ultimate. And in the 3DS's AR games, the Pikmin can appear, and they also appear when transferring DS information to another DS. And similarly with the Wii and the Wii U. Pikmin amiibo figures can be used to unlock a Pikmin Mii costume in Mario Kart 8 and Mario Maker. But after this, Pikmin went silent. Until it happened. August 5th, 2020, it was announced that Pikmin 3 would finally be coming to the Nintendo Switch.
It happened! Pikmin is real!
The website for the game would be updated, and the game would be promoted occasionally for a bit until October, when the game would be more heavily promoted. And then, finally, on October 30th, Pikmin 3 Deluxe was released.
Now, earlier I reviewed Pikmin 3, but I didn't play the original Pikmin 3 on the Wii U. I played this version, but we got it. After about 2 years of nothing for the Pikmin series, no announcements or anything, Pikmin fans finally got the confirmation that Nintendo actually knows it exists.
The game launched with all of its DLC, and it went on to overtake the original Pikmin 3 in sales, selling over 170,000 copies in just 1 week. The game went on to sell over 2.4 million copies. And of course this started rumors of Pikmin 4.
People felt like this could mean that we were getting a new Pikmin game.
But what fueled the fires even more was the release of a mobile game called Pikmin Bloom in 2021. Pikmin Bloom was developed by Niantic, who previously worked on Pokemon Go. Pikmin Bloom is pretty similar but also different. The game was made available worldwide on November 2nd, 2021, with some releases happening a bit earlier. It went on to get around 2 million downloads after 2 weeks. I personally prefer Pikmin Bloom over Pokemon Go, but I might just be biased to Pikmin.
Pikmin Bloom's alright, and, well, it's not really a Pikmin game in the traditional sense. I don't really care this time around. Now people thought it was only a matter of time until we got news on Pikmin 4. 2 Pikmin games in 2 years? That's like the most it's ever been!
And both games did really well for the franchise. And then it happened! September 2022, like normal, we would get a Nintendo Direct. I went into it hoping for Pikmin 4 and kind of expecting it, but also not fully expecting it. And then they talked about Pikmin Bloom. This got people excited because it could happen. They could talk about Pikmin 4. And then, oh? What's this? Wait, is it happening? What the fuck? Pikmin 4 was finally announced nearly 10 years after the release of Pikmin 3 and 5 years after the last time Nintendo ever spoke about Pikmin 4. And thus began the wait. February 2023 came around and Nintendo did another Direct and opened off with Pikmin 4! And it looked fucking good! Holy shit, this looks so pretty! Look at those environments. Ice Pikmin? Hell yeah! A dog? Fuck yeah! Caves? Caves are back! No!
Listen, when me and Mitchell fought this guy in Pikmin 2, he killed like 1,000,000 of our Pikmin. It did not go well.
But it's so cool to see this game go back to Pikmin 2. Pikmin 3 was more like Pikmin 1, so this game being more like Pikmin 2 makes sense. And it was releasing in July! Yeah! And what's this? A nighttime mode. This looks fucking terrifying. But this wasn't the only Pikmin-related thing in February. Back in 2015, a partnership between Nintendo and Universal Studios was announced, and they were making a theme park. 6 years later, Super Nintendo World opened in Japan, and 2 years later, it opened in America. Now, Super Nintendo World mainly focuses on Mario, and by that I mean everything is Mario. The entire park is specifically Mario-themed, which isn't a bad thing, but I don't really know why they call it Super Nintendo World if it's just Mario. Why not call it Super Mario World? That's probably why.
But there was one other franchise in Super Nintendo World, and no, it's not Zelda or Metroid or any other massive Nintendo franchise. It was none other than Pikmin.
You can find Pikmin in Super Nintendo World in 2 different locations. This confirms my beliefs!
I knew it!
And then we waited until June when Pikmin 4 was shown off at another Nintendo Direct. This Nintendo Direct was god tier. We obviously got Pikmin news, but we also got Mario RPG Remake, a teaser for a new Peach game, a new 2D Mario game! And obviously the icing on the cake, Hot Wheels Unleashed 2.
Oh, thank God, I needed my fingers anyway.
I need a loan. How much? However much it costs to get Hot Wheels Unleashed 2. No. Why not? You're bankrupt. No, we don't serve broke people. What? Okay, listen, bankruptcy is just my hobby, okay? I'll be out of this by tomorrow and I'll have a full bank account. No, I don't think you will. Why? You brought a Buddhist gong and a 1980s radio with you today. I bring them wherever I go.
I didn't get the loan.
But no one cares about the Direct, we're here for Pikmin. Pikmin 4 got shown off with a lot of gameplay, showing the new nighttime mode with a new Pikmin type, some plot stuff, and a lot of other shit. You can actually see my reaction to this Direct on Beta's channel, so go watch that and subscribe to him. But that wasn't the end of the Pikmin announcements, because they announced Pikmin 1 and 2 were coming to Switch! Finally, after over 2 decades after the release of Pikmin 1, and nearly 2 decades after the release of Pikmin 2, and 6 years after the release of the Switch, we can finally play all mainline Pikmin games on the platform. Again, I've already reviewed those games earlier in the video, so I won't do it again, but this was big. And then it was time for the final wait. There's a demo for Pikmin 4 that I played that was basically the first area of the game, and while I think it moved a little slow, my hype peaked for Pikmin 4. We got more promotional trailers and stuff for Pikmin 4 over the next month. And then there was the pre-order bonuses. Retailers like Target, Best Buy, and GameStop gave away cool items like keychains and bags.
Want to see what Walmart gave away? Damn it! I should have pre-ordered at Walmart to get the special limited edition Pikmin 4 water bottle.
And then July 21st arrived. Pikmin 4 had finally released over 10 years after the release of Pikmin 3. And it was so worth it! I played through the entire game on stream and streamed the game for like 14 hours straight, breaking it up into 2 streams so you could actually see everything I did. And then a few hours after stopping, I streamed it again for another 7 hours. I adored this game. It's definitely my favorite Pikmin game, and it's also one of, if not the best Nintendo games ever made. I think it's personally my favorite Nintendo game. I loved all of it. And I'm going to try my best to not spoil any major story beats here. The game looks gorgeous, and it's probably the best looking Nintendo game out there. The art is great, the graphical quality is great, it just looks amazing. The gameplay is the smoothest in the series, everything is built out well, I love the environments, the music compared to other Pikmin games is maybe a bit bland, but it's still good. I like the sound design, I like everything about this game, especially the caves and the night expeditions. The caves are really fun and have fair difficulty this time, and have different themes, and the last cave is probably one of the hardest things I've ever done in a game, but in a fair and fun way. And the nighttime expeditions are honestly kind of scary. Ice Pikmin are neat, some people thought they would just make blue Pikmin obsolete, but they still have a use, and glow Pikmin are really cool and you get them from night expeditions. Also, they're green! Green Pikmin! The only somewhat major complaint I have that isn't even that major is the beginning of the game being pretty slow. The first hour of the game or so is full of cutscenes and dialogue and serves both an intro to the world of Pikmin and also a tutorial. It's kind of annoying, but I think it's mainly there because Nintendo knew the game was going to attract a lot of new people to the series, so it kind of had to build things out for them. But it does make replaying the game a little annoying, but it gets over with pretty fast the second time around if you just skip through everything. I just wish there was a way to completely skip the tutorial section, because on a second time around you don't really miss anything. I wish you could have an option to let you jump right into the first area of the game. That's my biggest complaint with the game, and it doesn't even matter for 90% of the game. My other complaints are pretty minor, like the UI isn't my favorite compared to Pikmin 3, and sometimes autolock can be a bitch, but nothing else major. Without spoiling what happens here, if you have a game that makes me react like this...
No! They did it! They actually did it!
You've done something right. Also, I forgot to mention the Dandori challenges and battles. They're not super difficult, but they're really fun and test your efficiency and strategy really well. Narratively, this game is actually kind of confusing. Possible spoilers here, so avoid this section and go here to escape spoilers. The game starts off with a cutscene from Olimar saying how he met the Pikmin, saying it like it was his first time meeting them. And then he talks about Ochi, who was not in previous Pikmin games. I also forgot to mention Ochi, who's the dog and fucking awesome. He kinda looks like a freak, but this is the Pikmin series, where there's things like this. Ochi is a great addition. He basically works as a Pikmin in a way where you can be commanded to carry things and attack things, but he can be upgraded and learn new skills. You can also carry Pikmin across water if he learns how to swim and can be resistant to things like fire, poison, and like everything. If you fully upgrade him, he's like invincible. But the game presents this opening cutscene like it's the first time Olimar met the Pikmin, so this leads me to 3 conclusions. 1, it's not the first time he met the Pikmin, and it's just presented like that for newcomers to the series. 2, the Pikmin lore runs deep, and this is an alternate timeline. Matt Pat, get on this shit. Or number 3, it was just presented like that for some reason. And also, why is the house so well kept for 250 million years after human extinction? But whatever, this doesn't really bother me. Also, you can customize your character in this game. 10 out of 10. I made this freak. Overall, though, I give Pikmin 4 a 9.7 out of 10. One of the best games ever made, in my opinion. The game was received very positively by critics and fans alike, with 9s and 10s around the board. Except for GameSpot. It was praised for its level design, graphics, gameplay, new ideas, and improvements on the original Pikmin formula. I've seen some criticism about the Dandori challenges and battles, saying that they don't really fit in with the rest of the game, but I have to disagree. A huge part of Pikmin is managing your time, and the Dandori challenges really test that. I think they're a perfect addition to the game and are really fun. Some people have said that the challenges are too difficult, and I have to say,
Dandori issue.
Overall, Pikmin 4 is the highest rated Pikmin game on a lot of sources. It's also the best selling over 400,000 copies in 1 week. It's more than Pikmin 1, 2, and 3's first week sales combined. By August, the game had sold well over 700,000 copies, and in the first week of September, it had topped retail charts in Japan again, selling over 30,000 copies, topping Armored Core.
This game is well on track to sell over 1 million copies in its first year, which would be insane for Pikmin. The series has sold over 8 million copies worldwide, for reference. I'm glad Pikmin is actually becoming a name to be reckoned with. The series is incredible, with no truly bad games, including Hey Pikmin.
Apparently, one of Miyamoto's original ideas for Pikmin 4 was to make the player control a Bulborb and let them kill Pikmin. He tried to focus on what it could be a selling point for the game, considering the series had never exploded in sales before. Turns out he didn't need to do that, but I do kinda want to play this. Maybe in a Pikmin 4 DLC or a spin-off, we could play as the enemies in the world instead.
And guess what? We probably won't have to wait another 10 years for Pikmin 5!
In a recent Eurogamer interview about Mario Wonder, the topic changed to Pikmin, and Takashi Tezuka was asked if we would have to wait a long time for the next Pikmin game, and they said they would try not to let everyone wait. This is genuinely awesome to see. I love the attention this series has gotten, and I think we could see a new Pikmin game in maybe 4 to 5 years on the new console. Or maybe earlier, they might announce it when they announce the new console. Maybe it's already near completion, and they've been working on it while working on Pikmin 4. Who knows? This is also one of the first Nintendo games developed in Unreal Engine, which gives me a theory about why this game took so long.
I think Nintendo was originally developing this game in a different engine, whatever one they used for Pikmin 3. But maybe the game got too ambitious and they kept adding stuff past 2015, and in 2017 they began to remake it in different engines to see what could fit their vision. And they eventually landed on Unreal Engine. I might be completely wrong, but it makes sense and you know it. But I started this video by saying that Pikmin is the best Nintendo franchise. And I just haven't answered, I haven't said why. Why is it, huh? That's right, assholes. We're back at the art piece, and we're finally gonna talk about the real topic of this video!
Personally, it's my favorite for being the most unique without failing at what it tries to do. Other Nintendo series have tried to do really unique things and failed miserably, but almost every time Pikmin does something new, it's met with praise. Also, the gameplay is the most fun I've ever had in any Nintendo series. It's not me saying other Nintendo games have bad gameplay, I just prefer Pikmin. I've also always liked the art of Pikmin the most. The enemies can look like freaks, but that gives it charm. And the environments have always looked cool, it has some of the best level design, and so much more. I could gush about this series for another 7 hours, but so far I've written 8,000 words in the scripts. I think all 4 mainline Pikmin games are some of the best games ever made. Story might not be their thing, but when you have gameplay this fun, a world this cool and wholesome, and amazing art and graphics, I think it could be almost excused.
Come back to this video when Pikmin 42 releases and it gets a 2 out of 10.
The series will always hold a special place in my heart, and I will always love it. I hope Nintendo doesn't stop making Pikmin games, because these are truly something.
But I think that's a good ending place for this video. I've written well over 9,000 words in this script, not including Mitchell's review of Pikmin 2, which basically means this is like a short story or like a chapter in a full-length novel. I didn't expect this video to be as long as it was, so sorry about that, I guess. If you want to see more videos in this style, well, unfortunately this is the first video in the style I've made, so go check out other YouTubers like Scott the Waz and the Stellar J and Beta Blaster's commentary videos. I talked about him earlier. He's a good friend of mine. But there will be more videos in this style coming soon. If you like me, then I guess subscribe. I do gaming. I stream a lot. I make music. So if you like the whole Xbox 360 versus PS3 song from earlier, you might not like the music I make because it's not as calm as that or funny. It's metal music, so there you go. You can also check out the songs I made on Ragenade. I also do random sketches and skits, yeah, occasionally. Future videos in this style will not only be about Nintendo games, because you have Scott the Waz for that, but I do plan to talk about more Nintendo games in the future, like Mario Wonder when it comes out. That video will be a 10-hour long. Can't wait till the only videos on YouTube are 6-second shorts, 15-minute videos on drama, and 8-hour long video essays. Anyway, thank you for watching. Subscribe if you want, like the video if you like it, dislike it if you fucking hate me, share it around if you want, make fun of me in the comments, and I'll see you soon. It feels like I'm forgetting something. Oh, of course! Nintendo Land Pikmin Adventure! 10 out of 10!